Hey, it's Tom from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a detailed look at the Peak Design 30-liter backpack, which I've been testing over the course of the last 2 weeks. If you want to see more videos like this one, please give it a thumbs up so we can keep helping you find the right gear. Let's dive in. All right, so the primary fabric we have here on the Peak Design 30-liter travel backpack is a nylon, and that has some DWR coating as well. If you're familiar with Peak Design products, it pretty much feels the exact same as like their wash pouch or the larger travel backpack. And then we have Zoom zippers. The Peak Design 45, when we first got it, used a mix of Zoom and YKK zippers, but this is all Peak Design Zoom zippers, which we do dig. I mean, and they've worked with Zoom. These are, I believe, custom. I mean, you can see on the hardware itself, they have the PD logo. Normally brands will just put like their logo on like a zipper pull, but these are custom zippers that they've kind of worked on with Zoom zippers, which is pretty cool. So no YKK on this, not even on the inside. On the Peak Design 45 that we had, it had like a big Zoom zipper on the outside, but inside there was some YKK. Now it seems to have gone all over to Zoom zippers. Additionally, we have hardware here. This is aluminum. And then we also have some Hypalon in areas like this tag system as well. Now, the thing about this bag is that it's 27 liters while it's compressed, and then we have this zipper on the outside that'll bring it up to 33 liters if you need just a little bit more space. So while I have stuff in here, I'm just gonna show that to you first. And I like this. It's a little different. It's like more simple than the large travel backpack, which has kind of 3 different size modes. You can check out our review on that if you want to learn more about the 45-liter travel backpack from Peak Design. But this one's just a simple zipper. There's no buttons or compression straps or anything like that, which I like. Gives you a little extra space. I also like that the bag still looks good. I mean, there's just a zipper and some zipper teeth holding out, or kind of popping out, but it's reverse coil, so these taped seams on the zippers make it look all right. And sometimes bags, when they have this kind of zipper thing, it'll go right down the middle and they can just get massive. So I like that it's not really compromising too much of that Peak Design style to compress it. And then if you close it, it's back down to 27 liters and it looks and feels really nice and tight as well. And then I like that this small zipper is down here. It's just out of the way, and it's a really small zipper pull. You're not gonna get it confused with the rest of the zippers that you wanna use to access. So there's that. I mean, that's really great. All right, now there is a lot to get into with this bag, so let's just kick it right off with the harness system and some things that I've noticed during the testing phase. So the straps here, I really think they're comfortable. Pretty dense foam here and padding. Comfortable to wear. I had no problems with it. Took this to a wedding, had it filled up with gear, and it was just totally fine. So the way that this harness system works is there's no load lifters at the top. You do have this handle though, which is nice. So if you want to grab it, you can. Now hanging it up is a different story. If you have like a hook on the back, that's totally fine. But if you're trying to like stick, like if you look at our pegboard that we have on our videos, it's a little bit harder to stick like a peg through there. So good for hooks, bad for like, just straight dowels and things like that if you want to hang the bag up. So just note that. No load lifters either, which I don't think it's really needed for a 30-liter bag. And this bag really retains its structure even when it's empty, which is really nice too, like most Peak Design bags. Now, moving on down the harness system, we've got the Sternum Strap here. These have been hit or miss for us in the past. Sometimes the width of this kind of rail that it's on is like too thick, or this aluminum piece is bent a little bit too close together. But this is smooth sailing. I mean, the last time I've seen a Peak Design bag was, I believe, their everyday line that they last released or that I've reviewed, and that was totally fine. It was on, I believe, the Peak Design travel backpack. We had some issues with the 45, but these come on and off nice and easily, and no problems with this sternum strap, so maybe they figured some things out. Maybe we just had a sample too, like an early sample. Sometimes that tends to happen, but this is totally fine. And then this is the side that you would kind of clip to the other side, and you can see how I just had it stored there as well. So that goes in pretty easily. And then it's cool because if you like try to pull it straight out, it doesn't really do that, but you can see there's a little arrow here, whereas if you kind of pull it up, it comes out a little bit easier. This is a little bit fancy for me. I mean, I like the design, but to me, you know, just give me a buckle straight across the middle. It's not complicated, it's easy to undo. This is definitely elegant and sexy, but as far as using it, I think it's a little bit more cumbersome than just a straight up buckle. So if you like pretty design, which I do too, you know, you might like this sternum strap. But I think there are simpler ways to do it. Now, there is like an elastic stretchy band here too to manage that excess strap. Peak Design always uses great materials in their products. It's a nice, soft, kind of seatbelt-like material here on the sternum strap, which I dig. And then we have Hypalon attachment points here with the logo on one side. If you want to put like a carabiner on, you could totally do that, or something else in the front of your strap, that's totally fine. And then you have this nylon material here at the bottom, that seatbelt-like material like this, that's just going across for some reinforcement, and also like another place to hang something if you'd like. And I like everything's custom size, so you can see, you know, some brands might just order just have like a roll of the same size of this material, but you can see that it's a little bit wider than it is down here, which is nice. So they're really like kind of customizing these different little areas as well. Now the strap keepers, which have aluminum, and again, an even thinner, soft seatbelt-like material here to adjust, these glide quite easily. In the past, we've had some problems with these slipping prematurely, but for me, like on previous iterations of Peak Design, I should say, but these have totally held up as I've been testing them, and it's pretty much impossible to get out. So that's been figured out for sure. And then I just like little details like this. Like this little flap hides the hardware. You know, it's PD, custom branded there as well. Let me just pull that up, which is pretty cool. And there's this flap of this nylon DWR coated material, which just cleans up the look a little bit too. And then you've got this stitch reinforced at the bottom. So if you did pull these out all the way, it's easier to kind of poke this through versus getting the, you know, entire strap through at once back through this Tri-Glide hardware, which is aluminum. Yeah, okay, so a lot of details on this. You know, good reinforcement down here as well with the bar tack stitching down there. And there is a place for hip belt too. Unfortunately, we don't have it, so we can't show you. But under here, you can see that there is let me just get this strap out of the way for you. You can kind of see the gray table at the bottom there. So this does go all the way through. You can see my fingers down there. And then behind this little piece here, there is Velcro on this side. So a sternum or a hip belt can go in, Velcro in, and fasten, and you can use it that way. Now you might be wondering what this kind of spine is right here. And it's a very generous opening here, maybe even more than I think they needed to go. But what it allows you to do is fold these straps down and tuck them in here to the side, which is a great feature if you're trying to just keep your carry a little more clean, or if you have to check the bag. That's a nice thing to do, is to just kind of stow the straps away. And voila, there you go. But you can see, I mean, ton of space. You know, stick that sternum strap in there. Ton of space inside of there for that strap just to pop right in. And let's just kind of fold this underneath. There we go. Just want to get it out of the way. I mean, you can see it's tough to get perfect. And granted, you know, it doesn't zip shut. So that's, you know, if you check this thing and there's a chance that that strap is going to fly out, but it's good too if you want to carry it like briefcase style like this, or duffel style next to you. Again, a little bit wide. I would actually prefer to carry it this way from this side handle, but that's available if you'd like. And then this is also a luggage pass-through too. So there's some kind of reinforced padding here. There seems to be a little layer of foam on the inside of this thing, soft on the outside, great for a carry handle, and then great for a luggage pass-through. Now in our Pack Hacker Pro community, it was brought up that some folks only like luggage pass-throughs when they go vertically, which I think is actually a great insight. So when you do have a luggage pass-through on the side like this, it can, you know, be an imbalanced carry and then hard to access, and your stuff can get sloshed around. Whereas if the luggage pass-through is straight up and down like you see on some bags going across this way, your bag is straight up and down, you can get access to it easily, and the stuff inside doesn't slosh around. So depending on, you know, your preference, that might be a bit of a con for you that it's oriented in this way. And then we have these little, it's not really paracord, but these little loops here for the attachment system that you've seen on the front of the bag earlier in the video. So you can kind of get these straps in different configurations if you want to hold things with those straps, which I'll cover in a second. There's also a little space for an ID back here. I like it, but I really wonder as to an employee or a Good Samaritan is going to see that, notice it's there, and pull an identification card out of the side. You know, I think luggage tags are like big and like purple and a lot of stuff going on for a reason, right? Because you can see them. And I appreciate this solve, but there's no window. And you really got to be looking for this if you're trying to figure out whose bag it is. And it's going to take someone with some determination if they want to figure out if this is your bag, if you lose it. So that's just a note on this. It's been like this in the last travel backpack as well that Peak Design released a couple of years ago. And then just some rivets up here that appears to be aluminum as well. Of course, the PD logo in Hypalon like we've seen in other areas. So really slick and clean design. Now let's talk about the sides. So we have a water bottle pocket here on the side. There's some stretchy elastic material on the top and some kind of mesh material, stretchy material on the side. There's a little bit of an opening down here at the bottom as a drainage hole, or you know, can kind of go through here. So there's a bit of like a drainage hole down there to get rid of excess water if stuff starts to build up in here. And a handle on the side too, and then another attachment point. Handle on the side is great. I mean, it's pretty much centered. You can see that it's like a little bit this way when I grab it, but it's centered enough. Some bags, when they combine the water bottle pocket and the handle, the handle will kind of get pushed up here, and then you grab the bag and it's kind of like, you know, wonked off to the side like that as you're carrying it, but they did a good job with this. Still nice and balanced carry with this side pocket. This is that nylon material that you can see on the outside of the rest of the bag, and a little bit of foam padding in here as well. Different material than this, which is softer, so just note that. Opposite side pretty much features a mirrored design as that side, so water bottle pocket. Handle down here at the bottom too, and then just, you know, that material down here. It feels even a little bit slicker down here, so they might have some extra coating going on compared to the rest of the bag. So this material feels a little bit different than this material. This feels more rough, this feels more slick, but it's been coated a little bit more. All right, that covers the sides and the back. Now let's get to the front of the backpack. So I have this crisscross pattern here with these, you know, attachment points here. With this is actually plastic hardware, and this is where you can start to get into some of those different configurations. You know, if you're trying to use these accessory straps to hold other items. So if I'm grabbing this and I want to, you know, put some kind of a sleeping roll down at the bottom, I would put it this way and fold it over underneath and attach it to that back one that we talked about earlier. And then I'd really like crank this down. And then if you have those on both sides, you got a little loop there where you could put like a sleeping roll or something. Or, you know, if you have your tripod and it's sticking way up, you want to secure it, you put the strap from here to here and you really tighten it down. And it's kind of a side accessory strap. So just note that. Now there's a big pocket down here at the bottom, and it's magnetized, which not a ton of magnets on this bag. I mean, Peak Design loves using magnets, but not a ton. Really, really big pocket down here at the bottom. I mean, it goes up to like here. So what it's intended for is to stow away these accessory straps. So if I just open that up for you so you can see inside, stuff these in there, close it off, that's what that's designed for. I mean, maybe you could put like a packable jacket in here and magnetize it closed. The only thing is it's quite easy to get this open. So I like to leave these just attached. And worst case scenario, if these fall out, they're still gonna be attached to these loops on the side, and you're gonna be okay, because there's really, that thing just doesn't really close. So kind of a big pocket. I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but it's kind of just like, you could have, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, not a designer, but maybe you could have gotten away with the one like really, really small. I'd actually be curious if someone knows why they made it so big as a design decision. I'd be curious to know. If you can leave a comment, that would be awesome. Okay, let's see here, bada bing, bada boom. I think we covered the outside. There's so much going on in this bag. I'm trying to ensure that I cover everything I can for you. So next up, let's cover the quick access pocket. I guess I missed Peak Design logo here, not the PD, full Peak Design logo in that Hypalon material. But let's get into the main compartment. So you can see we have zipper pulls here and here. So this is for the main compartment, and this is for this front little pocket here. Now, these zippers are not lockable. I suppose you could kind of like weave them together and maybe put a lock here, but you can still open them and get access if they are attached. But these aren't lockable, which I think is fine. But these are at least like theft deterrent. So you can see these little rivets, like pop thing right here, that can open up, and then you can attach these, you know, to one another to keep them locked up. But really what it's, the primary place to lock these is at the end against, you know, maybe like a little loop at the bottom or something like that. So you can attach them to this bottom handle here that also, you know, focuses on helping with theft. So let me just do this real quick. Well, this one doesn't open up, but if I pull it off to the other side, you can open this up. You could thread this zipper through here, thread that back here, trying to let you see here. And then that is attached there, and you've got just a deterrent. You can still get this open. I mean, someone can figure this out if they look at it, but it keeps things locked for like quick grabs. And if someone doesn't know this bag, they're gonna take a little bit of time to figure it out. And that locks that down really nicely. So you can either lock these zippers to the handle, or you can lock the zippers to one another to make it a little bit harder to access. But I'm just gonna open this back up now, put this to the top, and we will go into the front pocket first here. Okay, bear with me, people. There we go. All right, let me open this up right up in the front here. And you can see we have some organization going on inside. Just got a pair of glasses here. And then I've just got a wallet, kind bar, and field notes up here at the top. Let me put that down so you can see. And, you know, nice access. I like these pockets. So there's a bit of reinforcement at the top, adds a bit of stretch. And then it's a stretchy mesh material. So it can grow and shrink based on what you have inside. They're a little loose, just straight up the way they are, but I like that ability to stretch if you have items that are a little bit larger. So if I wanted to put in like a big glasses case, it doesn't fit down all the way, but it can take the depth and quite a bit more if you want to put bigger objects inside. You can see the field notes notebook here. It's getting a little like chewed and curved on the side. I wanted to show you that. So, you know, you might, if you have field notes, you might just want to put it in this main area down here. Stick it back up there though, just because that's where I've been storing it. And you've got this pretty nice open area down here where you can put items. And then I can open up this zoom zipper. Like this, I believe, was like YKK in the last version, but I can open this zoom zipper with this little itty bitty paracord zipper pull. And then we can see inside, I've just got headphones in here right now. And then you have these little slots here. And these are originally, I believe, designed for like SD cards and camera batteries. Peak Design, of course, is like a camera-first company, so they're always thinking about camera carry. So you've got those options here, or just for smaller items, you know, anything that you need access to while you're traveling. But it's basically built for camera gear. Let's close this back up, and then let's get on to the next pocket. I'm just gonna pull that field notes out of there as I just bent it, like putting it back in, not good. All right, let me open this up. Now, one of the things to note about this front pocket here is that when this is open, I mean, I love the way this opens. This is how a travel backpack should open. You get this nice tray. It's structured, you know, pretty structured. You got a nice tray to put things into. You know, it's great. Also, Peak Design, they do this in units. So this is their, the largest cube they offer, which I think is the medium. And then I think this is called the small. And I think they do that because you can get a large camera cube, which takes up 3 units. So imagine this is 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 units. So you can fit in 3 units of their packing tools here, which is nice. Check out their website for that. I'm doing that by memory. I'm pretty sure that's how it is, but just, I might be wrong there. All right, so these packing cubes fit in nicely. These are some of my personal favorite packing cubes. Nice little Hypalon tabs. You grab to pull. We have another review on these if you want to check them out, but they fit nicely on the inside. So 2 of these nicely packed up. I'm gonna set them off to the side for now just to get them out of the way. And we're gonna keep on rolling through. Now, one of the things that I wanna talk about with this front pocket is that when you have an opening like this and there's stuff inside of here, it's kind of hard to access this top pocket. So if I unzip it, I kind of gotta look down below and like see what's inside, and stuff can fall out of here. So it's best to access this pocket and the main pocket independently from one another. You know, load up like this main compartment first and then move over to this, or vice versa. It's kind of hard to access it all at once, but that's kind of the price you pay when it really opens up like this. Let's talk about the laptop compartment next. So you can see there's a false bottom. This stitching is where that pocket ends down at the bottom. I've got my 16-inch MacBook Pro on the inside here that fits in quite nicely. And then if it's all the way at the bottom, you can see where it is. Now, one of the things that Peak Design does in their everyday line that I really like is there's a separate mechanism or feature, I guess, down at the bottom that allows you to adjust how high your laptop comes up. So this is, you could put it in like 12-inch or 13-inch mode, and it brings like this bottom scoop back up. So check out our review on that if you want to know what I'm talking about, but that's lacking here. So even a 16-inch MacBook Pro goes way down to the bottom, and it's still pretty far down. It stops about right here where this kind of gusseted fabric is on the side. Now, if you have a 13 or like a 12-inch laptop, that's gonna go way down to the bottom. There is, however, a separate tablet pocket here, so if you have a really small laptop, maybe you could fit it in there. But I guess what I'm trying to say is if you have a tiny laptop, it's gonna go way down and kind of get lost in there. So that's the 16, gonna set this off to the side for now. And then the other like nitpick that I have here is the size of this Velcro target. It's pretty small, so it's kind of hard to, you know, put it back on exactly centered, so I just threw that on haphazardly. You can see that it's sort of a quarter of it attached there. So I don't love that when it's like this. I mean, there's a lot of variance in where that target could go. And it just, you know, it's not really something that you notice, but you will like spend a little extra time putting this down, right? And it's kind of one of those small little details, those pieces of friction that can kind of get in the way. Target's a little bit bigger on this one, but you still kind of have the same problem. And again, that's super nitpicky. The thing though is Peak Design is usually catching that little stuff and designing around it. So don't love that, but again, nitpicking. Still a great bag, still a lot of great features, but I'm here to nitpick, just so you can make the decision on whether or not that's a deal breaker for you. Peak Design Travel Backpack 30-liter PD, and then love these little illustrations that they do with the branding. As a former designer and illustrator, I'm always appreciative of that. Nice structure, frame sheet back here. I mean, you can see, or just maybe not a frame sheet, but there's foam definitely in the middle. You do have some structure. This is like kind of a tray. You can see how nicely that keeps its structure as it goes back and forth. So I love that. Wouldn't change that at all. And really nice structure to that too. Yeah, there's like a bit of a harder thing here too. So there is some reinforcement going on in some of these areas too, which is nice. All right, and then opening up this main compartment. So the one thing that kind of bothered me about these interior mesh pockets, and this isn't very good for like daily carry, right? This is good for travel. Now, if you had like socks and underwear, that would go well in these mesh pockets. But like for me, there's not really a good place for tech in this bag unless you want to use the front pocket. But since I've got a 16-inch MacBook Pro, I use the big brick charger, which is 96 watts. There are like smaller GAN chargers, but you know, the 65 watt GAN chargers charge my laptop a little bit slower. So depending on the trip, I'll sometimes bring this one. And you know, that's got to go in here. Just got some dongles and other tech gear, battery bank on the inside here too. Now, if I want to access that, it does take a little bit of a long time to do that, or longer than it would just accessing it in this front compartment here. So just note that, you know, you kind of got to like open this thing, set this thing down, open it up, pull one of these out, and then access that compartment. So it's better for things that you need slower access to. I'd put that like in the third position of access quickness. 1 being this, 2 being the packing cubes, 3 being this slot. You know, just a little notebook in here that I just don't access too often. But if I had like socks, underwear, just like other pieces of clothing that I wanted to throw inside of these, I would do that instead. But they are here if you want them. I just didn't find them super quick to access. As far as the pocket itself goes, of course, zoom zippers. And this one kind of curves, which is cool. And then we've got some mesh. It is not stretchy, but you can see through it, which is nice. So you can see things that are going on inside of the bag, or inside of these pockets, which is cool as well. And then these tabs are actually to integrate a camera cube inside of this. So, you know, if you're a traveling photographer, you want to like keep all your lenses and your camera body in here, you can integrate the camera cube right inside, which is great, and kind of structure it down just to enhance the safety and keep everything a little bit more accessible. Now we have these 2 side pockets as well, which zip up. There is one big pocket here and a smaller pocket here, and this is on one zipper that goes across. So inside I've just got, you know, just a couple things like room key card, like a photo from a wedding that we were at. There's me eating a giant corn dog, yum. And then I've just got this is actually a fork and knife set, which is super cool. So like this is credit card size, that fits in here vertically on this side pocket, which is nice. Zip that back up. And then I wanted to show you too, passport does fit into here as well. So that's about the max space, which is nice. Now, if you want to keep your passport secure, this is a great place to put it because it's, you know, inside of a zipper, you know, which is good, nice and secure. And then a mirrored pocket on the other side, which can fit like a vertical size credit card. And just while we're here, I just want you to look at the beefiness of this zipper and the rounded rectangleness of it. It looks really nice, that zoom zipper. Still like YKK better, but I think Peak Design's doing some really cool stuff with zoom, and I really dig that. So there you have it, the Peak Design 30-liter travel backpack. Thank you for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we will see you in the next video.